Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's time for a review show special. Now, this is where I take a deep dive into a particular subject, a particular creator, a particular trick, and I kind of go really deep on that particular product. And today, I'm going to be talking about something that I know has been really highly anticipated for the best part of a year, and that's Bricked by my friend Drew Perry. Now, the question is, what is Bricked? Well, if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, especially around about this year's Blackpool Magic convention, you'll know that I gave Bricked the trick of the year. Or of the trick of the convention. So I actually said out of everything that got released at the Blackpool Magic convention this year, Bricked was number one. Now, for those people that say, hey, Craig is biased, whatever it is, I'm going to tell you right now, there is going to be an element of bias to this particular review. And the reason is, I was involved in Bricked, not in any way in terms of creating the trick or anything like that. But Pete Nardi and Drew Perry asked me to come in and sit in with the tutorial and contribute routines and do some live performances, because Drew, I don't know if you know who Drew is a genius. I've said this over and over again before. Drew is the guy that people go to if they want to have something impossible made. And he's very, very busy all of the time. He didn't have time to go out and do a lot of the live performances, so I said I'd be more than happy to. He's helped me out in more ways than I can count, and so it was my pleasure to be involved with this project. To be clear, though, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't take a project on when I'm asked to come in and co-host or create routines or do live performances or whatever I'm asked to do. I only do that if I believe in the project or the product that I'm actually being asked to sit in on. And in this case, it was an absolute pleasure, because the second that Drew showed me what he had, the very second that Drew explained to me what Bricked was all about, I was blown away. At that point, I knew that this is something I knew I wanted to perform. And I wanted to perform this for a very, very long time. And I was more than happy to get involved. So, yeah, I'm biased because I'm involved in the project. You're going to see me on the trailer in a minute. You're going to see live performances of me doing this in real situations to real people. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I think this is absolutely phenomenal. Now, Alakazam have been waiting to release this until now. They had the soft launch at the Blackpool Magic convention, and nobody's seen or heard of it since now, and now it's getting released, and not just through Alakazam, but through every Magic dealer in the world, because it's through Murphy's Magic, and that's a really big deal, and it tells you how big a deal Bricked is, because Alakazam very rarely puts stuff through Murphy's, and the fact that this is gone through Murphy's tells you how important this is to Alakazam, and it really is. It's definitely a flagship product, as it should be. I honestly believe that this is something that people are going to be performing for a very, very long time. Now, if you don't know what Bricked is, I'm going to show you the trailer right now. So this is the trailer for Bricked. I'm filming this on the Monday. There is a live launch this week, so and this video is going up on the Sunday. So by the time you watch this video, the live launch will have happened, and it will be available through Alakazam and all the other Magic dealers. But for those of you that haven't seen the trailer yet, this is Bricked by Drew Perry.
What would you say is the most popular product for professional close-up magicians in the last decade?
Pick up the deck. Real magic is something completely different. Remember I said these look like Lego?
I'll make it look a feeling.
If I snap my fingers, have a look. That actually turns into... You've lost the ability to speak.
How did you do want to know? That's so cool.
And what would you say is the best, most popular product for professional close-up magicians in the last decade? Because I'm willing to bet a bunch of you are thinking Omnideck. And why wouldn't it be? Could it be improved? What if I told you it could be improved? Because here's the problem with Omnideck. It turns into a plastic block. What is a plastic block? Why is it turned into a plastic block? Is there a reason? Well, the genius that is Drew Perry has spent the last few years thinking about this. and he came up with a solution, and it's called bricks.
Why can I feel Lego?
Because it's done. Lift up your hand.
No, I'm scared.
Lift up your hand.
What the hell?
Tell me when you feel it happening. Do you feel it happening? Do you feel it happening?
Oh my God! Oh, Dad, I saw it. Nah, I seen it. Bro, bro, wait.
So what is bricked? Well, bricked basically is a deck of these. It's a deck of Lego playing cards. They're just like playing cards, but they're made to look like you bought them from a Lego store. Even down to the court cards, which look like little mini Lego figures. And you also get this. This has been custom designed from the ground up, specifically for bricked. It's the same size, it's the same shape as a deck of cards. The back design looks identical, but it's made out of brick. You can put this thing into somebody's hand and they won't even realize that you've switched it. You can put this right there and they can be staring at it and they won't realize that you've switched it. This is an absolute game changer.
You guys play cards?
Yeah.
Good.
We like a card game.
Nice. All the hardcore games. Nice. Strip snap. I've never seen that before. So, here's the thing with the deck of cards. I got 52 cards here. They're all there. They're all different. The thing when you shuffle a pack of cards is the faces change, but the back stays the same. That's not magic. That's obvious, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're going to pick a card. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
And you can pick any card you want to. Now, most magicians will go through the cards like this, and they'll tell you to say stop, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to have you pick a card in a really fair way. I'm going to spread them out like this, okay? And I'm going to run my thumb down the deck, and you can say stop anytime you want to. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Anytime.
Stop.
There, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put those there. This is the card that you stopped on. We got the 3 of clubs. Are you happy with that one? I'm going to give you a pen. Take the pen. And can you sign your name on the face of the card, big letters? And you can sign your name on the card as well in that part. Go for it.
Can I take a picture of the card?
Yes, please. Let's do this. Oh, there we go.
Well, I didn't like that.
Let's get the pen out of the way.
Done.
Now, if this works out, you guys are going to get to keep this as a souvenir.
No.
Watch the 3. I'm going to leave it down in the middle of the deck. We're going to cut it in there. I love how you're watching so carefully.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out where you're putting it.
Make sure I don't cheat. Now, Siosi, stand up for a minute because here's what I want you to do. Watch the deck. Do not blink. I want you to hold out your left hand palm up and you hold out your right hand palm down. Can you do that? I'm going to put the deck in between your hands. And I'm going to try and find your card by turning every single card in the deck into Lego.
What? No, don't, because
What?
I'm going to fucking
3,
be having nightmares tomorrow.
2,
No, wait.
1. Done. Lift up your hand. Because now every single card is Lego. Look at the king. It's a little Lego character. Look at the back design of the card. It's Lego. Look at that card. It's Lego. That card's Lego. That card's Lego. That card's Lego.
What?
Every single card in the deck.
Wow.
Every single one.
Wait, what?
Look. There's one card. There's one card in the deck. It's not Lego. One card only. Hold your hand out. If this is your card, that would be incredible, right? Turn it over, have a look. Go for it. 3,
I believe in magic.
2, 1. No, hang on. Grab the card. Grab the card. We're going to put it there. You can keep that as a souvenir. Left hand palm up, right hand palm down. We're going to go one step further. Look.
Shit, man, that's fucking weird.
Right, watch.
I can
This
do
hand
Lego.
underneath. This hand underneath. Are you ready?
No.
Because remember I said I was going to turn every card into Lego.
Why can I feel Lego?
Because it's done. Lift up your hand.
No. I'm scared.
Lift up your hand.
What the hell? That's actual Lego.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, oh my god.
Bricked is one of the best value products that have hit the Magic community in several years, and it is an absolute worker. Everybody knows what Lego is. No matter how old you are, you can know exactly what Lego is. It means that you have an instant hook when you pull out this deck of cards, and then the finale is something that they will never, ever see coming. Now, on the tutorial, myself and Drew Perry go through a metric ton of routines and handlings. We talk about how to use this to end a card routine, to end an ambitious card, to end a sandwich routine, but then we go into a load of other routines. Whether you like color-changing decks, ambitious card to impossible location, visual changes, mentalism, the list goes on and on. We've got you covered. And as well as everything else, we include a load of custom gaffs with this deck that allows you to perform a ton of extra routines. We've got gaffs that are designed for revelations, for mentalism routines, visual changes. We've even got all the gaffs that you need and the tutorial to be able to perform Alakazam's It Magic trick, Runaway Joker. Now, this is available to buy in its own right, but you get everything you need to be able to perform that in the box. My name's Craig Petty, and I am proud to bring to you one of the best-selling tricks at Blackpool Magic Convention 2024, one of the best card tricks you'll ever see, and one of the most innovative ideas for the close-up magician in many, many years. This is Drew Perry's Brick.
So I just want to give a big shout out to Nemid Phoenix, who is getting incredible when it comes to trailers now, as far as I'm concerned. And this is another one of Nemid's trailers. Did a really great job with this. I think he really captured what Bricked is all about. And I mean, the trailer there gives you a good idea of what it is. It is basically Solid Deception by Paul Harris, but in Lego. And if you've not realised, if you've been living under some sort of rock for the last God knows how long, Lego is more popular now than ever before. You know, my deck of cards that came out through Penguin Magic, the Mind Blocks deck, it has been massively popular. There's a lot of Lego themed tricks that have come out in the last year or two, and all of them are great. And you know, a lot of people can relate to Lego. Adults remember playing with them when they were a kid. A lot of kids play with Lego right now. But not only that, a lot of adults build Lego. There's a lot of Lego sets designed specifically for adults. You know, there's competitive Lego competitions. There's Legoland and God knows what. Lego is as a brand is huge right now. And this taps into that Lego brand. So, you know, that's a massive plus right there. When you'll see some live performances in a bit, and when I perform this trick and I bring out a deck of cards and it's all Lego themed, and you go, hey, I picked these up from Legoland when I went there with my kid last year, it just makes sense. It just looks legit. It looks like that's exactly what it is, a deck of cards from some sort of Lego shop. And so when you get to the moment at the end where everything becomes solid, damn, it's such a strong moment. Anyway, before we get there, I was able to sit down with Drew Perry and have a chat with him, which is very important because Drew's currently over in, I think he travels the world. I think he's over in, what's it called? It's on the tip of my tongue. He's over in another country anyway. Singapore, that's it. He's over in Singapore at the moment. But before he went to Singapore, I was able to sit down with him and grab a chat with him about Bricked. So I'm going to play that interview now. This is a chat that I had with Drew Perry. He talks all about Bricked, where it came from, his thoughts on it. He leaves no stone unturned. So let's have a look at that interview with Drew Perry.
Okay, so like I said, I am here with the legend himself, someone I consider to be a genius, and I do not use that term in any other way. That he is a genius. He's an absolute genius. The one and only Drew Perry. Drew, how you doing, my friend?
I am very, very well. Thank you, Craig. Yeah, pleasure to be here.
Well, you must. Well, obviously, I've interviewed you on Magic TV before. Everyone should check out your interview on Talk Magic because it was phenomenal. It was a real insight into you as a creator and kind of what makes you tick. But we're talking specifically today about something that I know you've been waiting so long to have come out. I mean, I did a review of Blackpool, and I gave this
Mhm.
trick of the convention.
Mhm.
And I think that pretty much everybody who picked it up agreed with me as well. It was a complete and total sellout. Everyone's been saying, "Where is it? Where can I get one? Where can I get one?" It's been radio silence. And now finally,
Mhm.
almost what, 7 or 8 months later, it's finally coming out. So now we can talk
Yeah.
about it. It's
Yeah,
exciting, right?
I'm so excited. I'm so proud of Bricked. I really am. Like, y- I've you know me well enough. I've always had a few things. There's various things I'm constantly working on and evolving, and there's more stuff that will come out in the future. But I honestly think Bricked is one of the best, strongest things I've come up with, and it's just as a performer, it's so much fun. You know,
Yeah, I
it's
completely and totally agree with you.
yeah, it's just there's something special about it that's just fun. So I'm just so happy that people can finally see it and give it a go for
I am plug I'm going to plug my laptop in as I'm talking to you because I've just realized it's not plugged in, Drew, which is a major problem.
it.
So
No worries.
tell me, where did the inspiration come from, first of all? Before we talk about what it is,
Yeah,
where did the
sure.
inspiration come from? Can we talk about that first of all?
Yeah, certainly. So there was there's two kind of things to talk about here in tandem. One is um, the various iterations of a similar effect, whether that's solid deception or omnideck are probably the two more famous ones, but there's a few people that have explored this kind of idea.
Yeah.
And I've always I've always done it. I've performed with omnideck for years, um, decades, and I love the reactions it gets. Always have. But there's always been that sort of niggle in the back of my mind of what is it? And it didn't stop it working, as a routine, as a trick, as a finale, as a punchline, it's strong. But there's always been this little niggle that I was like, it doesn't feel connected to the routine. It's a
Yeah.
it's a punchline and it works, but it doesn't actually connect to the routine, and people don't necessarily know what it is. That's always been my two sort of bugbears with it, even though I've performed it. And then I was sat designing something in Lego design software and dropping into bricks. I hadn't really used it before, Bricklink Studio for Lego fans out there. And I noticed at the bottom, it told you the dimensions in millimeters of the thing that you were making. And I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. And I'd happened to put down something that was 8 bricks wide, and it said 66 point something millimeters. And I thought, that's kind of interesting. That's the same width as a poker playing card. It's just something I know. And
You do.
yeah, of course, yeah. And I thought, and it might not have been exactly six. It was high 60s, and I thought that's kind of interesting. And I went out, I picked up a deck of cards, got a ruler, and I just was like, yeah, I could make that kind of close with eight things wide and see how many long. And I was like, oh wait a minute, there's something here. And I think within 10 minutes of having that realization, I'd done my first design of the gimmick, worked out, worked out what bricks I'd need, placed an order. It came a few days later. And as soon as it arrived, the first, and I've got it, this is the first one. And as soon as I had that, I tried a routine on a friend of mine to see whether it would work. It worked brilliantly. And that was the two things. Was like, okay, it's the dimensions just happen to work. An 8 by 11 Lego grid is, as near as damn it, poker size. That's I that's a right time, right place, right realization thing. I didn't sit down and go, I wonder if I can make Lego fit. I was doing something with Lego and I just struck gold.
That's amazing. That's amazing. But what I love about it is the design of the actual deck, because
Yeah.
it feels like it's so haphazard. It doesn't feel like it's
Well,
something that's constructed.
yeah, I mean that was then like iterated a little bit. So I had 4 or 5 different versions of the gimmick, with different patterns and different layouts to make it to just slowly build in a few more little touches. And I used it like that for probably 9 months before I was like, oh, this needs a custom deck and a custom printed deck to go with it. Now, I wasn't even doing that to begin with. I was just like, to me, I was ticking one box, which was people know what it is. People instantly recognize Lego. You can be quite far away. As soon as you see that in someone's hand, you know it's Lego. So
Yeah.
I think to begin with, all I was focusing on was that. And then when I sat down, and I was working abroad for 3 weeks, so I had lots of sort of downtime and alone time. And I spent 2 of those weeks just designing the playing cards to be a perfect match to the top, but then the custom faces. And then I was fixing both people know what it is problem of an Omni deck or solid deception, and fixing the issue that I've always had of it's not justified. And now I've got these cards that actually transform, and the visual is so connected, it just makes more sense to me as a routine.
And that's what's so amazing with it. So many aspects had to come together in order to make this work. It's not just about, oh, you've got a deck of cards that looks like a Lego thing. It's that the deck, and I think that's what really makes it the fact that you've got this deck included. And I did a lot of the live performances for the tutorial, and I've been working with Brick for a very long time. And you saw the reactions on the tutorial. You saw what people are reacting like. It gets a better reaction than OmniDeck and Solid Deception, because when you put it down or you put it into their hand, it's hard to believe, but they believe that it's the same deck because it looks like the same deck. So
Mhm.
that when they look at it, it's almost like it changes in their hand,
Yeah.
which you don't get with OmniDeck. With OmniDeck, you have to cover it up or you have to use misdirection, because the second they look at that, they realize it's not a deck of cards. It's a solid plastic block. But with this, they look down at it, they still think it's the same deck.
Not even lay people. I was at Blackpool demonstrating this at the Alakazam stand for 3 days on the trot, and the number of magicians that didn't see it coming. It's in their hands. It's on the table. And one of my favorite things to do is to just leave the gimmick sat on the table and ask someone to pick it up and give it a shuffle because they haven't realized.
No.
That happened dozens of times in Blackpool. So it's that because it matches so closely to the artwork, it's just
It's one of
fun.
those things. When you first showed it me, I
Mm.
I looked at it, I was like, why did I not think of that? But then I realized there's no way I would have thought of that, because there's so many, it's not just a case of, well, let's turn a deck of cards into a Lego. There's so much that needs to work in
Mhm.
order to make this happen. I want people to understand that are watching this. This is not simply a case of Drew whacking some Lego bricks together and making it look vaguely like a deck of cards. There's a lot of work that's gone into this.
There is, although crucially, that's I think the one of the questions I get the most is, oh, did you have to 3D print the bricks? Because people know I 3D print a lot of things. No, they're all real bricks. It's all genuine, actual, solid, normal plastic bricks that make it. You know.
Which is just brilliant. But, even if someone could come up with this, and I don't think anybody else could have come up with this but you then go the extra mile by whacking a load of gimmicked cards into the deck as well. So it's not just the finale to an incredible routine. It's the fact that you've got these so many different options when it comes to performing.
Yeah, and that was mostly Peter. That like I wanted. I think the one of the things with Bricked is it's very fun. It's a yes, it's a card trick, but it's immediately got a very fun, light-hearted hook because
Yeah.
you're introducing this deck of cards that's all Lego themed. So you already know you've lifted it from being, oh, I'm gonna find four aces and produce a royal flush. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but this doesn't fit into that camp. This is fun. And because of that element, we just wanted to squeeze in more fun gimmicks and gaffs that you can use. And I think during the tutorial, I think one of my favorite parts of that is actually just us chatting and jamming ideas for these
Yeah.
various gimmicks and gaff cards that we've added in for all sorts of possible routines that people will come up with. Because it's as soon as you have it in your hands, you're thinking about routines and ways you could use it that you haven't thought of before with an Omni deck, because it's not the same. There's
Yeah.
and there's there's also the added feature that you can fit a playing card inside it if you want to, which
Well, I was going to bring that up. I mean, that's just ridiculous that you can do that. You can do a card to impossible location.
exactly, yeah. And my friend Andy, I saw him yesterday, and he told me he literally performed it the day before with a duplicate inside the brick at the start, and it just is that extra like, oh, but just turn it over and have a look, take the bricks apart, and it just hits it home even more that it's Lego, and you get that extra reveal if you want to, or you can have a billet or a banknote or whatever.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It really is. I mean, just to put it out there, just one of the set of gaffs that you've got in this deck allows you to do Runaway Joker, which you would normally buy,
Mhm.
as a separate trick that costs like 20 quid or something.
Yeah,
That's just included in the instructions for free,
I'm just gonna
but with
pull
the
that.
Lego deck. And the deck itself, I don't know if you've got one there that you can show. The
I do.
Lego
So,
deck
well, I
itself,
was gonna say, this
you'd find
alone,
that obvious.
this is just the gaff cards that you get extra.
Wow.
All the extra reveals. Uh, that was actually just a normal five of hearts that's in there for
That,
some.
by the way, that you're holding there is one of my favorites. The Seven of
So,
Clubs
oh,
card. I love it
that's that's absolutely my favorite. I love doing this one.
because it's the way that you just take the Lego deck. Once they understand that it's a Lego deck, and you have
Yeah,
to pick a card and you move the bricks around on the cardboard and it turns into the Seven of Clubs. It's amazing, especially as then the entire deck's going to turn into Lego later on. It's
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. There's like broken ones. There's a blue one for doing Chicago openers, and that's one of Runaway Joker. Yeah, there's I think 12 additional gaff cards on top of the normal 54. The Jokers are included for good reasons
And
because
you know
they.
what? I love the look of the court cards, Drew, that you've
Mm,
designed. They look so good.
yeah, there's Queen of Diamonds.
It's just brilliant. I love
Yeah,
that.
but I think I'm actually holding a. No, this is a final production deck, so I thought it was a prototype. But yeah, they're just really really fun,
They really
really fun
are.
cards, and that just helps the visual. It just helps make it look like it's a toy and not some serious deck of cards. It's and
Yeah,
yeah, it's so much fun.
it really is. And there's so much you can do with it. Now, I want to address the elephant in the room, actually.
Mhm.
I know that people that are going to be watching this, the first thing they're going to think is, so this is the finale to an ambitious card, and yet I've got this special deck of cards that I'm going to have signed in order to do this finale.
Mhm.
What does that mean? Like, how does
Mhm.
that affect? Am I constantly having to, like replace cards and so on and so forth? And we've got around that in a couple of different ways, haven't we,
Yeah,
Drew?
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll be honest. I do it that way, right? I do get the cards signed, and I do refill them. Now that's probably because it's my baby, and in the various iterations, I've gained up quite a reasonable stock level of the decks. But it was important to me that you didn't need to do a signature, and I know plenty of people that do it without. So there's a couple of routines on the tutorial where you don't need to get a Sharpie out at all. The main one that's easiest to talk about is essentially a Chicago opener. and so the signed card is a mismatched back. So you can have the entire Lego deck, but one card can come from a different deck of cards, whether that's Bicycle, Providence, doesn't matter. You know,
Yeah.
whatever deck you choose, whatever deck you normally use, you can have it coming from that refill, and therefore your refills are essentially, you know, you just take them out of older decks. You know, don't even need to buy new ones for it. So, and that's still really fun. That still gives you the ease of the autograph as a moment of misdirection without having the cost of the refills.
My favorite version of that is I put a color changing deck on there, which for me just makes so much sense because you start off with a deck of cards that looks like a normal bicycle deck, and you go into a color changing deck routine. It turns into a Lego deck, but then you've got this. They're signing the like you said, they're signing the stranger card, and you've got all the time in the world to do the switch at that point because of the structure of the routine. I think you see some of the performances of that on the trailer as well, and that's a super fun way of doing it. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, go on.
Well, or we also talk through ways of doing the switch without using a pen as misdirection. You know,
Yeah,
there are other ways of doing misdirection to do that switch. Um, so yeah, there's plenty of ways of doing it where you're not going to need refills, basically.
now the next question I'm going to ask, because I'm trying to think through what everyone's going to ask about this, so
Hmm.
I'm kind of firing these at you. The next question is, will refill decks be available for people that do want to use it as their new ambitious card?
Yeah, absolutely. Not necessarily from day one, but I think it would be crazy for us to not offer it because I've had enough messages from people at Blackpool who've been buying it, who bought it at Blackpool and have since said, I need more of the deck, not just for doing bricked and doing that final reveal, but people are using it as their deck of cards for
Great deck.
walk around set. You
I
know,
love how you made the deck look like a bicycle deck. Like I
yeah,
love
yeah, that was kind of important to me that the back was sort of vaguely reminiscent of a bicycle rough layout or a Phoenix rough layout. You know, it's that border within border. There is also the fact that it kind of looks like a zero to some people, which I know some people use. I don't personally, but yeah, that was important to me. It also made it look a bit more interesting when it's the Lego version. You know, I
that.
started out the original one was just white. And whilst you can obviously see that that's Lego, that's more obvious from a distance.
Yes.
And quite often I'll be performing to 10, 15, 20 people. So that, you know, real visual of one person holding it in the hand and everyone seeing instantly that it's Lego, that was really important to me.
Yeah, definitely. Next question. Are there options? You know, sometimes people hear deck switch and it scares them. Maybe they don't
Yeah.
want to carry around extra stuff in their pockets. Do
Mhm.
you have solutions for people that want to do this and have the finale without actually doing a deck switch?
Yeah, there's a couple of methods that we talk about in the tutorial. You can just essentially, without going into too much method and detail, you can essentially start with a gimmick and a couple of cards on top and do a routine if you want to.
Which is
Um,
actually one of my favorite ways of doing it.
yeah, yeah. Like not just that, but for other pieces, other bits and pieces of sleight, like again, without going into too much detail, but normally when you're doing a tilt, you would have a cover card. With this deck of cards, because it matches so well, I don't always bother with the cover card.
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much, but hopefully those that
Yeah.
understand will understand what I'm trying to say. Like, um, yeah, and there's a couple of things that do make that a little bit easier. If I were just to show people this, if I'm holding, this is one cover card on the gimmick. You do gain this little thing that you can actually achieve the tilt
Yeah.
just by pulling down with the index. Sorry, it's really awkward at this camera angle. You can actually achieve the tilt just by pushing down on there because of the dimples.
Yeah.
Which, again, if you're newer to doing that kind of routining or that kind of method, just makes that easier.
Yeah.
And that most of the time I am using that
What I
hammer.
love about the whole thing is it's the sort of thing that simply enough that people who are relatively new into Magic will be able to do it very, very easily, especially with the tutorial. You and I cover everything with
Mhm.
a fine-tooth comb. But it's also the sort of thing that every single pro I know would do this. Like it is, Sean Farquhar's going to hunt me down and kill me. I'm sure he is, but I genuinely think this is better than Omnideck. I really do, for a variety of different reasons. Like I said, people don't realize the change has happened, even though it has. It's more logical because you can talk about a Lego deck. You can talk about this is a Lego deck. You understand, people understand Lego comes apart, and it's a logical change as opposed to a plastic block, which is shocking, but nobody kind of understands why that plastic block is suddenly there. Like, there's so much to love about this, and obviously I'm biased because I got a chance to be on the project with you, but I just think it's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know whether I would say it's better than OmniDeck. What I can say with certainty is that it's better for me. And
Yeah,
that's as someone who has performed OmniDeck for 15, 20 years. For me, this is a better routine. It suits me better, and I think hopefully it will suit other people better as well. Or for those that haven't done it. This is for me a classic Alakazam thing where you could buy this, do one of or two of the easier, simpler routines, and you can build over time to the more
yeah,
complicated routines that I actually do with it. And there's so much more that you can slowly get more comfortable with. And that's just talking about the main finale. If you're just talking
mm,
about some of the gaff cards, like Runaway Joker, for example, is very simple routine to perform.
yeah,
And that you don't
mhm,
have to even involve the gimmick for that. You can just use the playing cards.
yeah,
And it really is one of those where you can experiment with it over time and get more confident. Because I do think the best way of using it is with a deck switch. And that takes a bit of experience to know the timing of that and the offbeat nature of when to do that. Takes a bit of experience. But you can
yeah,
build that up over time with this. Or just be really bold and simple about how you do it. Turn your back onto the audience and do it then. You know.
exactly,
You know,
exactly.
you don't have to try hard. You can keep it
And
simple.
it's all covered, and it's all covered on the tutorial. And I love the fact that there's so many live performances. Of course,
Mhm.
you know, for anybody who's watching this over here in America, because obviously Alex is very big in America now. Um, we don't have the crazy freaked out reactions that you get in a lot of American trailers. English are more reserved. They're more, oh, that was very good. Well done, jolly hockey sticks. It's very difficult to get people to react like they did in this trailer. And that's not because I'm the greatest magician of all time by any stretch of the imagination. It's it's down to the trick, it's down to the effect. When they're holding that thing in their hand and they see it changed, it's this visceral reaction. You want those sort of reactions. This is the sort of effect that gives them to you. Like, you take this to a wedding, you take this to a corporate. It's so versatile, and people will freak out. They just will.
Yeah, and I think, Lego at the moment is really in vogue. Lego are
Yeah,
killing it at the moment. There's a botanicals piece up there. There is more and more Lego around. I see it everywhere, and I don't think that's just because I've been doing this and other Lego things. I think it's Lego are just popular, and it's so nice. And I certainly see that. Like, I'll perform this, and someone will say, "Oh, I've just bought my boyfriend a set for his birthday present or whatever." Like, so many people then talk about it, and it has that nostalgic element, which is just fun. You know,
yeah, I
Lego does
agree.
mean a lot to a lot of people.
Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I agree. So, how many, one last question. How many routines are there on the project? I don't
I
even
can't.
know.
I think actual full routines is about 10, 12 routines, but
Mhm.
we I think on the tutorial, I, I said to you before we started filming that I wanted to keep it creative. I want people to buy this and come up with stuff. I don't like, as
Yeah.
much as I'm really happy with my routine, I think as a creator, you'd agree one of the best things is to see someone take what you've come up with and turn it into
Oh,
their own thing. So a good
yeah.
chunk of the tutorial is actually us spitballing and jamming ideas of to see what you
Yeah.
could do and to give some ideas of, oh, you could use these gaffs these way, you could do this switch this way. So there's probably 30, 40, 50 different sort of things you could do with it that we've talked about. But full structured routines, I think, was about 12. And yeah, I've seen people who bought it in Blackpool, send me little messages of clips of them doing it and in
Right.
different ways and using it differently. Yeah.
That's great. One
Or
last question, for
doing
any
it with like,
purchasers, I don't think there is at the moment, but when it gets officially released, is there going to be like a Facebook group or something that
yeah,
people?
I believe so. Because I think it is that kind of trick where, it's not a one trick pony by any stretch. There's so much you could do with it. It's almost a utility item and deck. So I think there is a good chance people will come up with stuff that they'd like to share. And um, so yeah, I think it would be right that it does have a Facebook group.
Excellent. Now, before we wrap this up, I have to ask you one other question. I know better than anybody how busy you are, and you're normally working on a million different things that aren't even magic related, that are just insane if people knew some of the stuff you worked on. In fact, they can find out some of the stuff they worked on by looking at the previous interview that we did.
Yeah.
It gets more and more crazy. Every time I visit you, you've got something crazy going on. But are we going to be seeing more routines, more tricks, more effects coming from you?
Yes, I believe so. Um, so I can say this much. I In the last year or two, probably the last 18 months or so, I've spent quite a lot of my time building things for other people, yourself included. Um, and I'm trying to, but I've also been doing like bulk building. So, for people like Alakazam, will say, can you make, you know, hundreds and hundreds of sets of this trick? And
The perfect example is Sticks. That's
yeah,
you.
stick,
Uh,
yes, exactly.
Hard Stretch that Roman bought out. That's
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Sticks, we've just done another batch of because it sold out faster than we anticipated. So, um, Sticks batch two should be live by the time this video is live. Um, but I'm trying to take a step back from doing that. I'm still fulfilling our existing projects and so on, but I'm really trying that for the next year, 18 months, maybe even 2 years, to try and spend more time on some of my things because I've got quite a few ideas that are anywhere between 50% and 80% complete. And I just need to buy myself some time to actually work on them because I don't want to just give them out to Magic producers unfinished. So the one that's closest to that is my tarot deck, which I've spoken about publicly before. Uh,
Mhm.
and that's totally unlike Bricked in every way. It is at its heart a mentalism piece around tarot, but it's to do a little bit of hype and a little bit of teasing. I think it's one of the most powerful bits of mind reading you can do with a tarot deck that's entirely self-working.
I mean, what more can you say about that?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that needs some of my time to work on basically other routines and collate some more material for it. But yeah, that one is next. That's on my hit list.
Wow. Wow. Well, I know you share a lot of the things that you're working on with me, and I know that the
Mhm.
best is yet to come. But I'm going to take this back into the studio now and give it a full review. Spoiler, it's freaking amazing. But Drew, thank you so much both for coming on the channel and also for releasing Bricked, because honestly, I think it's going to be something that every worker uses. So thanks very much.
No, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks again, Alakazam. I couldn't be more proud to have something with my name it and the Alakazam logo on it. That means a lot to me as someone who's come back into Magic and been, I think Alakazam are killing it, and it's great to be part of that. So
I agree
thank you to
completely.
them, and thanks to Magic TV, because I think what you do is amazing.
You're awesome, Drew. You're awesome. Right, I'm going to get this back to the studio and let's give it a full review.
So, I mean, really, at this point, there's nothing else for me to tell you. Bricked is there's two elements to Bricked. The first element is a deck of cards. I've got several of them. I think I've actually got one down here. Let me have a look. Have I got one here? One here. This is not very professional of me. They're normally in my... no, I don't think I've got one there. They're downstairs. Oh well, I haven't got one. But not up here with me in my office. But Bricked, there's two elements to it. So the first element is the actual solid finale, which is basically a deck of cards built up with Lego bricks. And it took a long time for Drew to put that together. That is what you're going to be having appear at the end of the trick. The other element to this is a deck of cards that Drew designed that looks like the sort of deck of cards that you would pick up at a Lego store. They're good quality cards. You can do whatever card manipulation that you want to do with these. You can do your 15-phase ambitious card routine or whatever you want to do. But at any point in the routine, you can switch the deck for the brick deck, and you can have a finale where the entire deck turns into solid brick. That's basically, in essence, what Bricked is. Now, as you heard in the interview, there are going to be replacement decks available. In all honesty with you, I tend to use the color-changing deck. My favourite routine is the color-changing deck, which starts with the deck looking like it's a regular bicycle deck. I change it into a Lego deck, and from there, the switch is done while they're signing the odd back card, which means I'd never have to replace the deck. But I know Drew does, and that's absolutely fine. There's so many different ways you can go with this. Alakazam are going to have refills, and they are going to be very, very reasonably priced. The other thing, as I said in the interview, the other thing is that you get a lot of gimmicked cards in order to be able to do a bunch of different card revelations. There's some really nice gimmicked cards in there. There's cards where it looks like you're moving the bricks around on the backs of cards, creating this scenario where you're actually putting a revelation of a playing card onto the back of the cards. You've got reveals of various different things that you can force. You've got the runaway Joker trick, which you can pick up as a separate trick through Alakazam. That's just included on this project for free. You get the gaffs to be able to do that, as well as a bunch of other gaffs as well. The Jokers have card revelations in them, and you get an extra Joker. I mean, there's just so much thought has gone into this. And I know when Drew was first putting this together, the first brick deck I got when I agreed to come onto the project, the first brick deck I got was very, very different to the final brick deck I got, because initially it was just a deck of cards, and then they kept adding stuff to it and adding stuff to it and adding stuff to it until we got to the point of where we are right now. Now, I'm going to show you a few live performances. Later on, I'm going to probably do a mat test on this, or I'll do a jack test, or I'll do something. I'll perform this in the actual studio at some point. But I thought, as I'm on the tutorial and I did all the live performances for this deck, I thought it might make sense to show you a few live performances. So you can normally only see these if you get the product and you look at the tutorial, but I'm going to show you a few of the live performances off the product now. So this is, let's have a look at this. These are some live performances of me performing Bricked in a real world environment.
The most painful thing in the world ever is stepping on Lego. I'm telling you right now, I do it every day. But I was in the Lego store with him, you know, the Lego store in Birmingham? I was in the Lego store the other day, and I saw these. It's a pack of cards, but they're kind of like Lego-themed cards, kind of really weird. The backs look like Lego, so you hold it all together like this. It looks like a big block of Lego. They are actually just playing cards, though. But the court cards are like little Lego characters. They're pretty cool. Abigail, would you help me with this? Would that be okay? I'm going to give these a mix-up. I'm going to give them a shuffle, just to make sure they're in no particular order. I'm going to spread them out like this. What I want you to do is take a number card, not a picture card. So don't take like a jack or a queen or a king. Take a number card. Is that all right? Yep. Grab one out. There you go. Anyone that you want to.
Nice. Show everyone, don't show me. I don't want to see. Then I'm going to give you a pen. And what you're going to do is you're going to write your name in big letters on the face of the card. Not on the back, on the face. Not on your face, on the face of the card. Write your name on there. That'd be awesome. There you go. And when you've done that, show the card one more time to everyone. Don't show it to me because I cheat, like I said. Nice. Apparently you're a table. It's all good. Right, so you're going to put the... I'll just pop the pen there for a minute. And you can put the card back. So just stick the card back in the deck. Nice. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between sleight of hand and real magic. And then at the end, I'm going to show you the most amazing thing you've ever seen. Would that be cool? Mm-hmm. So somewhere in here is your card. I have no idea what it is, but that card is unique to you, right? It's the only card in the pack with your name on it. So unless you have a habit of signing cards, that's unique to you. I'm going to take the 5. Was that your card?
No.
Okay, watch the 5. Don't blink. This is sleight of hand. Nothing in the hand. If I just take the 5 and I rub in the right spot, I can take that 5 and hopefully I'm going to be able to make it change. It happens on 3. 1, 2. It's kind of weird, right? Now, come a bit closer because that's not real magic. Real magic looks like this. Watch the 7. You pop it down in the middle, right? So it goes about there, about halfway. You push it all the way in. You square it the sides. Now you just got to wait a second, snap, and when you do, that's when that card comes straight down. Now check this out. It's not like it's a deck full of 7s, but even if it was, it's the only one with your name on it, right, Abigail? Look, I'm going to put that 7 right there. Push it in for me. Press the button on top. Turn top card over. One last time. Pass me the card, Abigail. Put it there. So I'm going to go really slowly. Do you see the 7? I'm going to flip it over right there. Just in case you guys think I've cheated, I'm going to give you one last look at it. All right? Now look, the 7 goes here, like that, in that half. This half goes right there into that half. Is that fair? Yep. Now look, I'll show you. It's not on top, is it? Not on top? No. And it's not on the bottom. Now, it's not that the card comes to the top. I'm going to tell you how it works. The top card turns into your card, Abigail. Now, you don't normally see that because the card's face down, but if I leave it face up, watch that 3. Watch that 3. 1, 2.
Wait, huh? What do you mean?
Abigail.
What do you mean? Huh?
Abigail, come here. No. Do you see the 7? I'm going to pop it right there, yeah? Yeah. Look. Rest of the cards go on top. Where is it? Top, middle, or bottom?
Bottom.
Where is it?
Bottom.
So we're saying it's not on top then, right?
Oh! No? I felt it on my hand, bro. It didn't move, fam.
Abigail. Look, do me a favor, buddy. What was your name again? Nath. You maybe it's because all the backs are the same, right? So you write your name on the back of Abigail's card. Big, huge letters, man.
Oh no. Ain't no way, bro.
Okay, cool. So we've got Abigail. Leif, right? Wait, do me a favor, come here. Hold, no, stand there. Hold your hand up. Yeah? Put your other hand on top. Like that. So, I said at the end of this trick, I was going to show you the amazing thing ever, right? When you were a kid, did you play with Lego?
Nah, you're boy in it.
Yeah?
Nah, you're boy in it.
Yeah? You did? Did you used to build stuff up? Tell me when you feel it happening. Do you feel it happening? Do you feel it happening?
Oh my God! Oh, nah, sorry. Nah, I seen it. Bro. Huh? Bro,
Where did the cards go? Where did they go?
And you know the best part? His sleeves are rolled up as well. Deep it.
No.
How did you?
Where's the cards? Where did the cards go? Where's the cards?
And you're going to help me with this one. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
You look very excited about this. So,
that was so cool.
that was good. This is
I
even.
was like this.
That was good. This is even better. So, do you guys play cards?
Yeah.
Good.
We like a card game.
Nice. All the hardcore games. Nice. Strip snap. I've never seen that before. So, here's the thing with the deck of cards. I got 52 cards here. They're all there. They're all different. The thing when you shuffle a pack of cards, is the faces change, but the back stays the same.
Okay.
That's not magic, that's obvious, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're going to pick a card, is that all right?
Absolutely.
And you can pick any card you want to. Now, most magicians will go through the cards like this, and they'll tell you to say stop, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to have you pick a card in a really fair way. I'm going to spread them out like this, okay? And I'm going to run my thumb down the deck, and you can say stop anytime you want to. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Anytime.
Stop.
There, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put those there. This is the card that you stopped on. We got the 3 of clubs, so you're happy with that one? I'm going to give you a pen. Take the pen, and can you sign your name on the face of the card, big letters? And you can sign your name on the card as well in that part.
I want to take a picture of the card.
Go for it.
Can I take a picture of the card?
Yes, please. Let's do this. Oh, there we go.
Oh, I didn't like Flash. Hold on.
Let's get the pen out of the way.
Done.
Now, if this works out, you guys are going to get to keep this as a souvenir.
No.
Watch the 3. I'm going to leave it down in the middle of the deck. We're going to cut it in there. I love how you're watching so carefully.
Yeah, I'm trying to like work out where you're putting it.
Make sure I don't cheat. Now, Siosi, stand up for a minute, because here's what I want you to do. Watch the deck. Do not blink. I want you to hold out your left hand palm up, and you hold out your right hand palm down. Can you do that? I'm going to put the deck in between your hands. And I'm going to try and find your card by turning every single card in the deck into Lego.
What? No,
because
What?
I'm gonna fucking
3,
be having nightmares tomorrow.
2,
No, wait.
1. Done. Lift up your hand. Because now every single card is Lego. Look at the king. It's a little Lego character. Look at the back design of the card. It's Lego. Look at that card. It's Lego. That card's Lego. That card's Lego. That card's Lego.
What?
Every single card in the deck.
Wow.
Every single one.
Wait, what?
But wait. Look. There's one card. There's one card in the deck. That's not Lego. One card only. Hold your hand out. If this is your card, that would be incredible, right? Turn it over, have a look.
Do you want to turn it?
Go for it. 3,
I believe in magic.
2, 1. No, hang on. Grab the card. Grab the card. We're going to put it there. You can keep that as a souvenir. Left hand palm up, right hand palm down. We're going to go one step further. Look.
Shit, man, that's fucking weird.
Right, watch.
I can
This
feel
hand
Lego.
underneath. This hand underneath. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Because remember I said I was going to turn every card into Lego.
Why can I feel Lego?
Because it's done. Lift up your hand.
No, I'm scared.
Lift up your hand.
What the hell? That's actual Lego.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you so much.
So something to consider, right? A lot of people worry when they hear the term deck switch. Oh my God, I've got to switch a deck of cards for something else, right? And anybody who's ever done Omnideck or Solid Deception or anything like that will tell you that there's absolutely no heat on it at all. It's totally not an issue. The misdirection with this sort of routine, you can literally palm in an elephant. But if you are worried, me and Drew sit down on the tutorial and we go through so many different ways of actually accomplishing this sort of trick. So you don't necessarily have to just do a switch of a deck. There are multiple routines we go through where the deck's in play from the very, very beginning, and using a combination of tilt and a couple of double lifts, you're able to make people think that the entire deck is a regular deck. And that's a really great handling. That's actually one of my favorite ways of actually performing bricked. But if you want to, you don't have to do that either. Basically, the thing that you need to understand about this trick is there are so many different possibilities. There's so many different routines. There's so many different concepts. There's so many different ways of actually performing with this. If you wanted to, you didn't even have to use the bricked finale. The deck itself comes with so many gaffs that you could just have a Lego themed act without actually having that finale built into it. But let's be honest, who would want to do that? When you've got this incredible finale that Drew's put together, you'd have to be nuts not to do it. Ultimately, let's just, so recapping this review, Is it practical? Yes, there are a ton of different routines that you can use in so many different ways. And these routines can be done strolling, they can be done tabled, magic, banquet, stage, parlor. There's a lot of different handlings of a lot of different ways of using the bricked deck and the bricked gimmick. Are there lots of routines? Yes, there are an absolute metric ton. You get gaffs to be able to do even more routines. And to be honest, the stuff that's on there is scratching the surface. Is it angle proof? Yes, the angles are great. There's no real angles to speak of. Is it easy? Yes, it is very, very easy. Yes, you are going to need to do a deck switch, but it's the easiest thing in the world, and we go through that in great detail. But to be honest, if you don't want to do a deck switch, there's multiple ways of doing it without actually using a deck switch. Do you need refills? Yes, if you're going to have a card signed and given away from the Lego deck, eventually you'll need another deck, but refills are available, and there are options of using this deck and not having a card signed if you don't want to go down that route either. So we talked about angles, reset. Well, it's kind of an instant reset. It's examinable. It's a normal deck of cards, so the deck's examinable for any routine you want to do. Yes, some of the routines that use gaff cards as gaffs in play, but, you know, generally as a rule, the deck is completely examinable. And when the Lego deck is rung in at the end, that's examinable. The reset is typically to put that Lego deck back into your pocket, take the regular deck out, put it back into the box, and you reset ready to go again. So the reset is almost instantaneous and everything is examinable. Live performances, yes, multiple live performances on the project. Is the tutorial well done? Well, you know, I might be biased here because it's me on the tutorial with Drew, but I think that it's a very in-depth tutorial. It's not ridiculously long like some of my tutorials. It's only 2.5, 3 hours long. But that you can learn the basics within about 15-20 minutes. If you just want to do the solid deception style routine with the brick deck, you can do that. Absolutely not a problem. Within 15-20 minutes, you've got everything you need to know. The extra routines and everything that come after that, that's up to you. If you want to learn them, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing else really to say. Drew Perry is a genius. I'm going on record right here on Magic TV to say that half of the stuff that I've done in this industry wouldn't have been possible without Drew. Half of the stuff that Ryland has done in this industry wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Drew Perry. He is absolutely one of the cleverest men in Magic, and this is his first big release, but I'm telling you, it's not his last big release. He's going to have a metric ton of stuff coming out over the next few years. And the name Drew Perry is going to be synonymous with quality. It's going to be synonymous with hard-hitting, practical magic and mentalism. And some of the ideas that he's got are just astronomical. Mark my words, Drew is going to be a household name in this community in the coming weeks, months, years. Absolutely. But right now, this is probably the first you've seen of him. This is his first big release. This is bricked. There's a reason I gave it the Trick of the Year at the Blackpool Magic Convention 2024. There was a ton of stuff that came out for Blackpool. This was the best by far. I am giving this 120%. I asked Ryland what he'd give it, and he said he'd give it 120% as well. It may be a card trick, but of course, you know Ryland's going to do a Lego trick. It's absolutely amazing. Packs small, plays big, and you saw the reactions in the live performances. Those are the reactions that you're going to get from this deck every single time you perform it. It is incredible. It's why it gets 120%. So there you go, guys. That's another review show special in the bag. Do me a favor, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you want to see more videos like this? If you do, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Now, I'm going to be back again. I'm going to be back tomorrow with a 5x5. Also, don't forget, if you haven't already done so, go check out the Q&A from earlier this week. Go check out the Talk Magic that I put up yesterday. That's a killer Talk Magic. And I'll be back again very, very soon. I really appreciate every single one of you guys joining me and chatting and listening to me talk crap. I really appreciate it. I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.